Dare I say that I might have one of the best base routines on all of TikTok? It's my favorite, personally, because, I mean, I'm the one that does it. But anyway, let's just do it. And not to toot my own horn, but my base is perfect every time I do it. Every single time. It never ever misses. It eats every time. And the girlies have been asking to see it. I filmed my base routine one other time and posted it here on TikTok in 2 parts. But I'm going to do it all in 1 part today. So stick with me. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. But yes, my base is perfect every single time. I'm going to show you my credentials. This was my little glam the other night. No filter, no edits. Front camera, just with my light in front of me. Yeah. Okay, my skin is already prepped. I used the Pete Slices Snail Mucin toner. I used the Colleen Rothschild HA. And then for sunscreen and that little glow that you're seeing, this is the Kiehl's Super Fluid Daily UV Defense Sunscreen. And that's it. That's all I have on my face right now. So let's get into the makeup. I'm always a base first kind of gal, so I always start with my face first. Sometimes I start with my eyes first if I'm doing something dramatic, but it's very rare. So we're going in with the e.l.f. Halo Glow. What shade is this? Shade 2. I'm putting this all over because my face, as you can see, does not match the rest of my body, and we need to be matching. So I'm going to blend this in. I like to use a dense brush like this one from Say to blend it out, and this just makes me look a little bit more cohesive with the rest of my body. Also, that sunscreen leaves a little bit of a white cast, I think. It's very minimal, but it does leave a little bit of a white cast, so I like to put this back on to give me some color. I just put a little bit of my body glow on too. This is the one from Sol de Janeiro, but unfortunately it's like always sold out. I think they might be discontinuing it, but this is Copacabana Bronze. If you can get your hands on it, it's like my favorite body glow of all time, and I just put this on with a big, huge powder brush. Okay, for foundation, it's crusty, it's dusty, but it's good stuff. This is NARS Light Reflecting Foundation in the shade Santa Fe, and I'm going to be using a brush to apply this as well because I'm a brush girl. But yeah, this is one of my favorite foundations. I carry this in my professional makeup kit for brides because it is so beautiful. Look at that. Stunning. So, I like to smooth this out with a brush. I avoid my under eye area because I only want to put concealer there. And I go back over with a powder puff later, so if there are any like little streaks or anything, we can smooth it out. But if you like a sponge, feel free to use a sponge to blend this out. Okay, for concealer, I'm using the Natasha Denona concealer in the shade N1. This one is one of my current favorites. I apply in this area. This is the placement for the concealer. I like to do a little like reverse contour, so I put a little concealer under where I'm going to bronzer because I really use a bronzer more than I use a contour, but that's pretty much it. And then I'm going to blend that out also with a brush, you guessed it. This is the brush that I really love for blending out my concealer, but I also like this one. This is the House Labs concealer brush. I really like this one too, but this one from BK Beauty. This is the 109, and I'm just going to start patting that. Look at how beautiful. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be so good. I'm telling you, our base is gonna be flawless. I'm so excited. I do put a little bit of this on my eyelids too, by the way, just to kind of get rid of the discoloration so that we're all one color. Okay, next is the bronzer that I was talking about. So I don't really traditionally contour. I like to use a bronzer and use that in the place of both. So this is the one from Dibs. This is the shade 5.5. I place this a little bit higher than the natural hollow of my cheek, just to kind of snatch the face and give me a lifted look, because I have a very round face and this is how I like to bronze for it. And then I put some on the tip of my nose and then some on the sides just to give me a little color and to try and snatch it a little bit. And then I put some directly on my jawline, just like that. And then there we go. Now we're going to blend it out again with a brush. Some other ones that I really like, by the way, are this one from Persona is really good. The formulation of these is so creamy. This one's just a little too light for me right now because I do have a fake tan. And then also the Rare Beauty bronzer stick in the shade Always Sunny is my go-to. To blend, I use a BK Beauty 106. This is, I think, a buffing foundation brush, but I like to use it for bronzer and cream contour-esque products. Look how beautifully that blends out. Dibs knows what they're doing with these cream formulas. They're so good. And you can see where I kind of reverse contoured with that concealer. Don't worry, we're going to blend everything out, but that gives me like a little bit more of like definition, a little more sharpness underneath, and kind of creates the illusion of like a reverse shadow. When I'm blending on my forehead, I blend back towards my hairline so that I'm not creating more of a shadow towards the center of my forehead. I want to give the illusion that I just have some sun there and like that I just have a natural flush of color. So I try to avoid the center and blend backwards. And there you go. And then with whatever's left over on my brush, I put right here in the inner corner of my eye to really enhance whatever eyeshadow I'm going to be putting on. Sometimes it's just bronzer, so this just gives the illusion that everything's a little bit more connected. And so I bring up whatever is right here on my nose, like when I contour my nose or bronze my nose, and I just kind of blend it out with the, like, this inner socket of my eye. Okay, you know we gotta do a blush, so this is Rare Beauty's liquid blush in the shade Hope, one of my absolute favorites. I'm just gonna do 2 dots of that because do I need to explain why? It's pigmented, we all knew that. And then again, you guessed it, a brush. This is BK Beauty 112, and I just like to gently tap this in. I'm not really like dragging it around, I'm just tapping until it's blended. I do blend backwards towards my hairline, up towards my temple, just to give me that really cute color, and then we're gonna start the layering process. So I've been a professional makeup artist for 7 years. I have found that light layering is the key to longevity. I always get messages from girlies saying, my makeup is wearing down throughout the day, it doesn't stay put, what can I do? Layers. Light layers, it doesn't have to be heavy, but if you want your makeup to stay, especially for special occasion makeup, I do a lot of weddings, I do a lot of brides, light layers are the way to go. So where I put cream bronzer or liquid bronzer, cream bronzer, I'm gonna put powder bronzer. Where I put liquid blush, I'm gonna put a powder blush. Wherever I put concealer, I'm gonna set with powder. So that's pretty much everywhere. We're going to do that now so I can show you, I'm gonna demonstrate. But this is the key to long lasting makeup, and it looks flawless. It doesn't have to be cakey, it doesn't have to be heavy. Make sure that you're exfoliating regularly too, so this doesn't feel like a lot of makeup. If you've got dead skin cells on your skin, it's gonna look gross. So exfoliate. I recommend these facial radiance pads from First Aid Beauty if you want something that's light exfoliating but not too harsh. Okay, let's move on. For setting powder, we're going to use the Givenchy Prisme Libre. This is the little mini one in the shade 3 Vile Rose, and then I'm going to use a powder puff. This is like the only time that I'm not using a brush is when I'm using a powder puff, and I'm going to tap off the excess and I'm going to press under my eyes, and this is going to airbrush everything. I like to leave that there to bake for a little bit, but remember, everywhere we put concealer, we're putting powder. So I'm gonna set my chin, I'm gonna set this area where we reverse contoured, and then I'm gonna set the center of my forehead and my nose. To reinforce the bronzer that we did, I'm going to use the Hourglass Luminous Bronze Light and a big BK Beauty brush. This is the 103, and I'm going to bronze over everywhere that we put cream bronzer. So this is going to reinforce that. This is my theory. Okay, so you're putting on a layer of the cream product, and then you're going to put a layer of the powder product on top. As the day goes by and your product wears down, it's going to have to, I don't know what's working against it, but like the air is going to have to go through your powder product first and then your cream. So if you've got 2 layers, you know, it's going to be, it's harder to break down. Does that make sense? To reinforce my blush, I'm going to use Patrick Ta She's Passionate. And I like to, again, apply this coming from the center of my face up to my temples. And then if you know me, you know I gotta put a little blush on the chin. I just feel like it makes everything look really cohesive, super cute. I'm gonna work on the rest of my face and then I'll come back to show you the finished look. Okay, eyes and lips are done. We're going to start kind of blending away with the powder puff the rest of the powder that's under the eyes because we let it bake for a little bit. And then we're gonna do setting spray and highlighter. My favorite setting spray of all time. This is from Scandinavia. This is a makeup artist secret, so keep it on the down low. This is the best setting spray of all time, truly. I think they make Urban Decay All Nighter though, so they're pretty similar, I think, in formulation. But this will make your makeup literally transfer proof, and I'll show you at the end. But let's spray my face. I like to drown myself. Okay, lastly, a little highlight. This is Exhilarate from Rare Beauty, and I just gently brush this over the high points. And there you have it. The perfect base every single time. It never misses. It always looks so good, and it looks good in pictures too. My toxic trait is thinking that I need to add a little bit more blush though. Every time I finish my makeup, I'm adding a little bit of this kimchi one. So cute. Clock me if you want to. Now you have all my secrets. Love ya!